Alrighty, we are recording. So welcome everyone. End of September. Can you believe it? Holy smokes. September 26th. That month went, was that like a record-breaking speed of months or what? Totally fast. So let's start with some victories. We have a couple of victories in the team. Can I just tell you guys really quick, I just got back from Brendan Bouchard, 4 days of a high performance academy. Literally have multiple pages of notes. He's going to be there again, Brendan Bouchard, in March for 4 days in Arizona. A lot of top leaders in Isogenics were there. There's 1,000 people in the room. And basically, we were interacting and learning how to be a high performer in life. And I will share my one takeaway that I thought was super powerful. And it was set a being goal. How do you want to be as a high performer? And for me, it was like kind and a connector, and I want to be joyful. And I feel like I really was that at the beginning, and it really helped my business. And then it kind of was building in fear and all these weird emotions. And so guys, I had a breakthrough myself personally that you can get to the top with joy and being fearless and feeling present with people. So that was my personal breakthrough. Wendy, what was your big takeaway from Brendan Bouchard?
My gosh, there's so many. I mean, honestly, from taking care of your temple, because he's very into the physiology, and he really kind of broke it down into psychology, physiology, productivity, people, presence, and then really purpose. So what your purpose is. And it's the way that he goes through the 4 days that makes a lot of sense, because you're literally kind of making a little plan for your life. So it was super eye-opening, and just makes you realize one of the biggest things is when we started, we were just ignorance on fire, full of enthusiasm and passion, and people were signing up, and I didn't even know what I was doing. And I remember signing like 10 people up my first month, and I didn't even have a clue what I was doing because I was so excited, right? And so that's really the big secret, is to be excited about everything. So enthusiasm, and not just what you do for a living, but in all areas of your life. So
You hit the nail on the head, Wendy. Being enthusiastic about all parts of your life, it will come through in your business. So anyhow, he kept bringing out like amazing speakers. So if you want to really, if you're feeling unproductive, or you really want to shake yourself up, go in March for 4 days. And there's lots of ways to get free tickets. So don't go out and do what I did and spend $400 on a ticket. We'll get you a ticket. We'll find a way to make it happen. Okay, guys? So that's our personal victory. And just so you guys know what's up with me, I'm leaving next week to go to Kathy Savage's branding workshop and learning how to brand as a health and wellness expert. So I plan to come home and share with you. So I'll be a bit off the radar next weekend. Let's hear from Shannon. Are you there, Shannon? Because you have a victory to share in your team. I'm unmuting you. Shannon Phoenix?
Oh, I'm here, but I'm not. Like
okay.
I have to be quiet.
Okay. She might be with her. Speaking of victories, Marla, can you jump out and share? We have a brand new Crystal Director in the house, maybe $832 bonus, plus a whole bunch of bonus money. And I gotta say, like, pretty independent badass. You did this, like, you didn't even really need a lot of help there, girlfriend. So Marla, tell us, congratulations on going Crystal Director.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us, how's it been for you, your journey?
It's been good. A little stressful the last couple of days, but it's been kind of amazing, actually. I feel really good. I get to share what I love. What's not to love?
I love it. So Marla, tell us a little bit about like why you love Isogenics, because you've done a lot of direct selling. You've pretty much done, like, you were Pampered Chef. You've done tons of companies. What do you like so much about Isogenics?
It's just such a solid company. There's just such amazing support, and the product it speaks for itself. You just feel it's just different. I don't know. I can't put it into words what is different about it exactly, but it's a different feel within the company. You actually feel connected.
Mm-hmm. Community.
To everybody in the company, from the owners down to the newest consultant. It's really unique that way.
I love it. So what's your next big goal? You just hit Crystal Director.
Crystal Executive all the way.
Right on. And we're going to slide into that. And we have our new path to purpose. So you not only earned $832 plus all those $111 bonuses for your consultants, you also earned a fancy schmancy t-shirt, athletic t-shirt. And when you hit Crystal Executive, you're going to get some Tiffany earrings. So that is something to look forward to.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited. I'm already on the move for it. So we're rocking and rolling over here.
good. And Marla's done a lot of markets, do you guys, just so you know, like she sets up her displays in her booth. She's like a traveling road show. She's pretty awesome.
Traveling road show.
Yeah, she is. So we had a Pampered Chef / Isogenics party one night, which was great. Let's hear from Rhonda, because Rhonda, you have some really exciting things. Can you share?
Sure. Hey guys, it's so fun to be on the team call because I never get to do this. But yeah, so we had last weekend actually, back in June, just before school ended, we put it out to our team about having a photo shoot. And I know you guys, Erin, you've done it, Wendy Dodds has done it, and I actually reached out to you guys long ago and asked how you did it and all that stuff. And then I kind of put it on the back burner. And then finally, Darren and I really talked about it and tried to figure out how it would best serve our team. So we got in contact with probably the best known photographer in this area, and he and I actually went to school together, so we've worked together for years and years. But anyway, I kind of promoted it like support local, and in the fact that he has a local business, I have a local business, my whole team has a local business. So the way we worked it when we promoted it to the community was that we were going to bring our community together. Everybody was going to work together. We put 21 women, and we really made it for women, much to Darren's chagrin in the beginning, but he's going to do something for men afterwards. But anyway, what we decided was that we would put it out to women within our community and support local business. So John, did Facebook Lives. I did Facebook Lives. We did a Facebook Live together. And then once we made the group just for those women and Darren, then we just had like those 21 women constantly working together. So John, the photographer, my husband, Darren, and then the rest of the women. So what happened was, as time went on, so it was almost 3 months that we worked together, people fell off, which I knew was going to happen. And so in the end, we had 13 amazing women. And I'm telling you, it wasn't about, getting in the bikini and doing all that stuff. Like, it wasn't about that. It was about these women getting together and getting all dicky-dooed up. And we had, makeup artists there. And, I've been a dance mom my whole life and danced my whole life. So, we were doing hair and we were changing clothes. And he took 1,600 pictures that day.
Wow.
13 women, and I'm telling you, they changed 3 to 4 times. So it was just like, it was freaking amazing. It was the best thing I've ever done with our team. And it was something that kind of lit everybody up. And now it kind of put a new energy into the team to move us forward to do, something else. So this Saturday, we have corporate coming to our area to do a Super Saturday. So with that momentum from the photo shoot, now we're going to do a Super Saturday. And then from there, try and, keep that momentum going for the rest of the fall.
I love it. That's so good.
Yeah,
so for those who are new, it was obviously a photo shoot. People bought a program, they followed it, they stayed committed, and 13 out of 20 is really good. And just share real quick, like, what was the feeling for some of those women? Like, when I did that, like, women were crying, like they'd never really had professional photos with their hair and makeup done. They felt so beautiful. It was very empowering. And side note, now you can use these photos to market, and you're creating a community there. So what was some of the women's feelings about this?
Oh my God. And you know what? I'm getting emotional just thinking about it because, you know, there were so many, and like I said to John, everybody has a story. And, you know, when you sit and you chat while they're waiting, you know, I had one girl who wasn't, her husband had to, like, they came for it took her 3.5 hours to drive to that photo shoot. And when she got in the car with her young son and her husband, she begged him not to take her because she was so afraid. And when she got there and, you know, she's getting her pictures and she's all dolled up and, you know, her son and her husband were there and they're cheering her on and she felt like $1 million, right? So, you know, that's the reason why you do this job, you know, like, or whatever you want to call it. It's, you know, for me, it's a job. I love what I do, but, you know, just that, like, watching these women step into their purpose and their beauty, it was incredible. It was incredible to watch.
Aw.
So awesome.
So, yeah, it was really neat.
So awesome. Congratulations on being such a great leader. Way to go, girl. You're changing lives. It's amazing.
Yeah. It was neat.
That's so good. Who else has a quick little victory that they want to share? Personal victory. Did you do something awesome in your business or your life or your team, or who's got something to share? Anyone before we get into our content?
I do.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I have a customer who is now a consultant she's been struggling and felt like she wasn't losing anything. And she hasn't been able to do the cleanse because of an allergy. She's really had a tough time with it. And so unbelievably happy this morning that my first text from her was, I've lost 6 pounds and 11 inches. And
oh my gosh.
I know.
I know.
I felt like $1 billion. I was so excited and so happy to see that she's finally feeling it. And I think she's finally gotten it. And then I have another customer who, again, diabetic on a lot of meds, really was having a hard time, not losing, nothing was going on. And she sent me a message with a picture that she had actually gone down 1 full dress size.
Amazing.
So it was just like a big win.
You're really helping people. I mean, you used to sell kitchenware, which is amazing, and that helps. But I mean, you are changing lives. Marla has someone in her team. I did a Facebook Live about her. She hasn't been able to chew in years because of her jaw is dissolving.
She has osteoarthritis, degenerative jaw issues. So it's actually it's actually destroying her jaw joint. She can no longer chew, which is why I introduced her to the product. She's amazing.
And the funny thing was, she was lean her whole life, and when she couldn't eat, she actually gained about 20 pounds. She went in my kitchen looking positively gray to looking now. She's dropped 15 pounds. She feels full of life. She's on fire. Her husband's noticing. It's life. It's transformational.
She's actually lost 25 pounds.
Oh, wow. Update.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So never give up, guys, on what you're doing. There are people waiting for you to have the courage to say, hey, I have something that can help you. I have something that can help you. So, all right. Well, I have the pleasure right now of bringing out somebody here. And I just want to, before I do introduce her, I want to shout out to my friend, Carrie, my friend who lives in my town. She's made it on the call. I see you there, Carrie, so good for you. I want to bring out a really neat lady that I just had the pleasure of meeting. I've only seen her in a little square form. I've never actually met her in human form, but I'm hoping to meet her. She just lives down the island from me. She's kind of a big deal in Canada. She's not in our team, but I've been in a mini mastermind with her. She's just a great lady. She's just absolutely crushing it. She's actually a 4-star silver circle director. So she hit director. She also hit 60 pure cycles. She started 2 years ago after being a product user for 1 year. She's worked on cruise ships for 10 years. Like, that's kind of cool, working on a cruise ship. I love it. Earning a 6-figure income, but you were away for months. She was away for months, and now she works from home making a 6-figure income. So I want to introduce you guys to the beautiful Kristine, who's a real legend and on the island and in Canada here. She's really making a name for herself, and she's had a lot of success with using Facebook events. And I know some of us have dabbled with that in the past, but I think today you're going to learn some really neat stuff. She's going to tell her story about that, and then we're going to do the same with our team. So pay attention. And Kristine, welcome to our team call.
Thank you very much, Erin. It's a pleasure to be here. I love hearing your personal victories and all your team's personal victories. What a great motivational way to start your call. And I think it's really great. And some of the stories are really heartwarming. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
really
we love it because we get so many ideas from hearing what other people are doing, right? And that's how we stay enthusiastic. So yeah, we have great team culture. No one can deny it, you know? So Kristine, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, because you've been a product user. Just tell us your Itogenic story, maybe product and business, and then we'll get into how you've used Facebook events to build your business.
Sure, no problem. So thank you for having me on the call, guys. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Erin, it'll be great when we do get to meet, not like this,
Yeah.
for once, right? Yeah, so my story. So I was working on cruise ships for the last 10 years. I started as a scuba dive instructor, and so was traveling the world getting paid for it. It was an amazing job. And then I started to climb the ladder. It kind of all happened organically. Long story short, at the end of my 10 years, I was in corporate and flying around the globe and in charge of 10 ships. So the stress was super, super high. And I was in charge of the whole diving program for the entire fleet. So my stress level was very high. And during that last couple of years, because of those things and running through airports and being on planes, and, you know, one minute I was in Australia and the next minute I had to be in England. Like, it was crazy. So I put on about 45, 50 pounds, and I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't eating. So, and away from home all the time. So my gym level dropped. I went from being a super fit dive instructor, you know, to carrying all this extra weight and not sleeping and being stressed. So somebody on ships introduced me, who my coach, Sandra Davidson, was in Port and Shopping. She introduced me, and it's changed my life. But a key thing to remember, and I tell this to people all the time, for a year solid, I only was a product user. Sandra kept dripping on me about the business, and I was like, no thanks, no thanks. I'm happy in my job. And after about a year, so I lost 45 pounds. My energy started getting back up. I was in the gym, still traveling all over the globe, but I was eating better. You know, I was having my shakes in the airports instead of stopping at Starbucks and drinking Red Bull, you know, all that shift that happens with you. And people were just like, what's going on? You know, and I was like, I don't know what's in this stuff, but you gotta have it. So I was just sharing with crew members and people and tour operators and Cozumel and wherever I could, you know, because I always had a shaker cup in my hand. So it happened really organically with me, and I started getting paid, and I had no idea what I was getting paid for. And my coach kept saying, you know, you sure you don't want to know? And I was like, no. So I tell that part of the story because, you know, don't give up on people that say no to you, but that are product users, because it took me a year to say yes to my coach. And so when it did, look where I am now. So I was able to, when I finally did say yes, I said to her, okay, I'm going to commit to you for 1 year. I'm going to give it everything I have for 1 year. So in that year, I decided that I was going to, you know, really get into the business side. And in 8 months, I was able to resign from my corporate job.
Amazing.
So, yeah, now I'm at home. I work from home. I have no commute. You know, I'm here with my family and friends all the time. Gym is a non-negotiable for me. It's 4 to 5 days a week now. It's in my schedule. You know, you can choose to do those things. So it was a life-changing decision for me.
I love it. So when you said you went all in, what did that look like when you decided, you said to go all in? Because I presume you were still working.
Yes, yes. So the other thing my team doesn't get away with is telling me that they don't have time. Because being on cruise ships, it is a really great job, but you work 12, 14-hour days. So, and especially with being the fleet manager and having to be traveling all the time, I work 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week for months at a time. So in my spare moments, I was making shakes in crew cabins, and so every moment I had, I was listening to podcasts, I was learning, I was trying to get on team calls from wherever I was in the globe with time zones. So I really committed to saying, okay, I'm going to learn and suck up all the information that I can for 1 year and see where it takes me. And so it really meant committing. And it just shows you when you do it. Yeah, I did it in 8 months. I handed my resignation letter in to my boss in 8 months. So of course, not everybody has that kind of result, but when people tell me they don't have time on my team, they know the answer they're going to get to that. Because it's how much you want it, right? For sure.
Mm-hmm. So you were really hungry for it.
I was getting tired of cruise ships. I was tired of traveling. I was tired of being away, missing, events in my family, missing Christmas, missing, being able to help my mom. She just had hip surgery. So I'm home and I'm here helping her with that. I missed all of that stuff. Right. So that became a priority, and that became my why in the beginning.
I love it. Does anyone have any questions for Kristine on her story?
Awesome.
Isn't that a good story?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love your story. I think it's awesome, and I love the fact that you say that you don't let your team get away with saying that they're too busy, because everybody is busy, right? So what was it on the day, do you think, that it was, she had dripped on you and dripped on you and dripped on you? What was it that day, do you think, that changed your mind, that you, even though you were busy, you were going to go for it anyway?
I think there was a couple of things, but the biggest thing that helped change for me is because I started, before I got really serious about it, and I was sharing with people, so I started sharing with your immediate friends, your best friend, your girlfriend, your sister, your mom. And when I wasn't interested in the business side, I was just sharing with them. When they all started to see results in that first year, people were messaging me, and like you say, I think it was Marla, I think you said you get that text and someone goes, oh my God, I'm down 6 pounds. That I started receiving those from my friends and my family, and everybody was going, oh my God, awesome. Thank you for introducing me to this. And I started to get really excited and getting people's results. And I thought, but this is awesome, and I'm not even trying. So what if I were to really try? How many more people can I help? And that was sort of where it went from there. But that was the main big reason.
I love it. Where do you find your new enrollments and your new leaders and your new customers now that you talked at first about your close friends and family, and you don't really even need to know what to say to them. You just say, this stuff is awesome. You got to try it. I mean, that's kind of the essence of how we all speak to our close friends and family, right? But now that you're maybe moving out from that warm market, where are you finding people to talk to about this?
Yeah, it was a bit more difficult for me because when I did move home, I had been away for 10 years. So I had been in and out of the country, but I'd really lost touch with a lot of friends. And also when I had come back, everybody had their own lives after me being gone for 10 years. So my husband and I don't have children, so I don't have that connection, which is what a lot of people also have with their school and their teachers and, that kind of stuff. I don't have any of that. So at first, when I first came home, I was here by myself all the time going, okay, now what? Like, did I do the right thing? What have I done kind of thing? But I really had to learn to step outside my comfort zone. And then that's what sort of got me going. So I started joining groups. One that I'm doing now that's been very, very powerful for me is a E-Women Network group that the meeting is once a month and we have a dinner, and the women there are very, very much into helping one another, lift each other up. Groups, social media, of course, but you can't sit around waiting for people to respond to you on social media. And shows and events are, I do really well with belly to belly. I can post on social media and stuff, and some people are really great at getting enrollments on social media, but I'm very much a belly to person. So I love doing shows. I love doing, the Women's Expo, the Health Expo. There's a women's health show here in Victoria every year, and I've done them every year. I go to cultural days like a Philippine, and I do tables there. And sometimes the tables can be $20 and sometimes they can be $200. And the more expensive ones, I get my team involved and we split up, we split the cost and everything. And the Facebook events, that's the other big one now that we do a lot, which I know we're going to talk about.
Awesome. Love that you kind of started a meetup, an E-Women's Network group with a monthly dinner. Who wouldn't want to go out for dinner with a bunch of entrepreneurs? I love that. That's what I've been playing around with. I'm going to start something like that here. I love it. That's great. So tell us about the Facebook events. And for those who don't know, Facebook, your personal posts, guys, just are not getting the reach that they used to. And then it was photos got reach, and then it was videos got reach. Now groups and events, and there's actually an event app for Facebook alone. Facebook has an app just for events, just like they have for Messenger. They are driving people to events, posts and events. So I think that's part of your success. So tell us the story of how you use events.
So events are, it takes a while to run them. I recommend, if you're going to do one first, maybe start off with like an 11-day shred or something. But on our team call, we'll start the basics with coming up with the theme for the event. So we'll tie it in with a holiday. So for example, we did an 11-day shred to get to Canada Day. So we tied that into Canada Day. And so the theme was Canada. We had funny slang jokes and things all going on throughout the event. One we have on now is a 30-day event we called it Reseptember. So to reset for September and back to school. So there was a build up before the couple of weeks to go back to school. And people want to get back on the program after summer and barbecuing and camping and eating. And now we're launching our next one. That's our first 2 weeks of October to build up for October 15th is our little black dress project. And that's a build up to Christmas. So getting women to, we talk tuxes for the guys too, but we're doing a 30-day event for that. And everybody takes a picture of their before with a little black dress not on. And then at the end, everybody takes a little picture with their black dress on. And there's all kinds of different dresses people choose. So that's our next event coming up. So,
Kristine, can I just jump out just to give our team some context that love that. We've done lots of those groups as well. We're doing one team, just so you know, October 15th. Some of you know about this. And we're going to be doing, so the group cleanse is going to be Ageless Rebels. So it's going to be really focusing on healthy aging. And we're really going to be featuring a lot of our ageless looking teammates. And it's really, weight loss, energy, sleep. It's going to be a 30-day. And we're really theming it out around healthy aging and being an ageless kind of rebel. I.e. like Wendy is 50 and we have Diane Heaps in her 70s and she looks like she's 50. You know what I mean? So we have that coming, you guys, and we are also starting October 15th, and we will do 2 weeks of a Facebook event leading up to that. And so that's why we brought you on, just so that people in our team know what the heck's going on there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really fun. You really want the whole team involved on it, because the more people that participate, obviously the better it is. So you create the event. So Ageless Rebels, I love that. That's awesome. That's going to be really fun. So you create the event. So if you're going to start on October 15th, then you would want to create your event on, say, to start, the pre-event October 1st to 14th. And then that 2 weeks is where where all the magic happens. Once the event starts, it's an ongoing of a 30-day. But the 2-week buildup is where you want to get all your enrollments, where you want the team in there pumping everybody else. We do raffles throughout. So in that first 2 weeks, so I'll put it out to the team. And I'll ask who will want to volunteer donations. So usually a lot of the leaders will step up, and then we'll do a raffle for e-shots. We'll do a raffle for a seasonal shake. You know, everyone keeps a seasonal shake for those kinds of things. You know, the limited edition. We'll do oils now, which is really great. So we'll do every about 3 days. To keep the interest, we do these raffles, and the leaders each come on and they do a live to say, okay, you know, whoever rolls between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to have a raffle Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. So make sure you get your order in, and then the people put their who's enrolled under that live. And whoever doesn't win gets to carry on to the next raffle. So they're not out. We still keep that momentum going.
So
and we'll do a
You're giving prizes for people who enroll.
Yes, and you can do that. That's the great thing. You can, in order to stay in compliance, you can't do that on Facebook. You're not allowed to, you know, give away raffles and free stuff on your Facebook, but you are in a private group. So you're still under compliance by doing that, which is really great. So yeah, it just keeps up the momentum and it keeps up the build. And then the leaders, you know, will mail out to whoever it is, you know, the free raffle. So, and in the beginning, you know, you're talking about, you know, what is a cleanse day? What is a shake day? What to expect in the 14 days. And we do a schedule, and the leaders all have a day that they post. So it's up to the leader. So, you know, say I have you, Erin, posting on one day. If you can't post, you can give it to someone on your team to post, but you're responsible for that day. So usually you do a minimum of 2 posts in the day just to keep the momentum. And the other leaders really need to comment on everybody's posts so that everybody's showing the involvement in the community, right? You want that real community feel support to really help people, you know, step out of their shells and get involved in it.
Tell us the results of that first one that you did last summer. Didn't you get 125 enrollments?
Yeah, so we did, and it's varied on time of the year. It's varied on, you know, themes, that kind of stuff. So our Giver Canadian, we called it Giver Canadian Shred. I think we had so much fun doing it. We were posting funny hockey things, and like we were dressing up in flashy Canadian hats, and you know, we really had a good time doing it. And we had 125 enrollments from that one event. Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
Our week September were about 25 enrollments, but the great thing about this one is a lot of my leaders have really stepped out of their shells and are really getting the event going. In the beginning, it was all me doing the events, and now the team is really stepped up and they're leading the event. So they're going to eventually grow and do their own events, which is you know what you want to do, right? So
I love that.
Yeah.
Kristine, I was also inviting people to consider the idea if you were hosting a launch party. A lot of people will make a Facebook event and it sits there dead. Like, I've done that, guys. But why not take these principles if you're doing a launch party next week, or you're doing, you know, and then have the people posting twice a day on your event page for your launch party to get excitement, interview somebody who's going to share their story, do a raffle, use that event page to really draw excitement to your little launch party.
Yeah, and we do it for sip-in samples as well. So I have a couple of people on my team here locally in Victoria. We do a sip-in sample every third Thursday of the month. Just to be consistent with the date and a time. And we create a Facebook event every time. So the one we just did last week was our Fit to Fall theme, and at the sip-in sample we had pumpkin spice and mocha obviously were the featured fall, you know, flavors. So we do every single one differently, and we do a Facebook event, so we invite everybody into it, and the same thing, it's a much shorter build up. We only do that 7 to 10 days out from the event, because we've found over the experience of doing them, the sip and samples, if you go too far out, people don't really pay attention so much. But in Victoria, it seems 7 to 10 days has worked really well for our like where we get the most consistent turnout. Then we do the event, we give away a couple of, sample shakers with stuff inside, and we wrap it all up and make it look nice and fancy. And then we post the pictures. And then in the sip and sample, we say what now, and then we invite them into our bigger groups that we're doing. So we kind of tie them together too. And it's once you know how to do it, it's super easy to do.
Love it. I love it. Who has questions for Kristine here? This is so helpful. Are you guys learning tons here? It's so good.
Absolutely. So Kristine, do you guys have like a document that you follow, or is it just something that you guys meet as a group and you start assigning things like?
Yeah, we have, I have a schedule for the leaders. So we have our own, we're called Team Break Free Canada. We have our own business page, and on that, the leaders, there's a schedule for them, and who's posting what day. And in the beginning, when we were first doing them, I was helping people with posts because not everybody was comfortable with posting yet. So I was helping, if you're doing shake days, cleanse days, here's some scripts and some posts. Now I don't need to do that with the team. Now they've all done that now they're coaching their people how to do it, which is great. So it was a lot more time consuming in the beginning, but yeah, having a schedule is good because but I encourage people to post all the time. So I say, just because Erin's posting on Monday doesn't mean you can't post too. If you have a great idea, post it, right? So but that way we never miss a day of people posting.
Awesome. And then once the event starts on October 15th or whenever your date is, you put them into your Facebook group. And for us guys, we're going to be putting them into the Power to Transform. Some of them will be in there. And we're going to just keep our Facebook groups. We have our 12,000 people in there of our team. So that's great. So who else? I think someone else had a question.
Actually, mine was kind of like what Wendy said. And also when you talked about the pre-event launch parties, you said not too soon, but for if you're doing a 30-day, it's okay to do like the 2 weeks worth, you said, or beforehand?
Yeah, you can only, the downfall of Facebook events, and I would love to see them change this, is that you can only go 2 weeks before an event. You can't go longer. So you're kind of tied to that 2 weeks. So we always do 2 weeks ahead of when the start date is. And then for the sip and samples, we go 7 to 10 days maximum out for the event. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing you do for the sip and samples too, and this has worked really well. We've done this the last 3 months in a row. All the people that show up at the event end up having such a good time that what we do is during that event, we say, okay, who wants to host the next one? And somebody that is there decides to do it, and we've never had somebody say no, and they actually then host the next event, and it brings in more people that maybe are outside of your circle. So that has worked really, really well for the sip and sample events as well.
Do you give them a bonus for booking a party? Like, how they do that in direct selling sometimes?
No, but that's a great idea though. No, we don't. But the idea is that once they enroll, then they bring their 2 people and we help them become a consultant. And so I've created 2 consultants in the last 2 parties because the people that enrolled then hosted the next one and brought people and ended up enrolling and ranking to consultant themselves. So it's been really good for both sides of it. But no, that's a good idea.
Well, yeah, just even a shaker cup. I'm really liking the idea of every third Thursday, like having a consistent launch party on the docks. I think that's something that people might want to take a look at. I know as a local community, I think that would be important for us to do, so people can count on that.
Yeah, and it's good, and then they know, right? If they can't go to that one, they know that there's one in the next coming month, right? So, and then we always post it in the last group for where the next one's going to be, so people have that connection to the next one if they want. And it's been growing, it's been escalating every time. We've had more and more people every time. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions? It's super helpful.
I have a question, Kristine. Great information. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We greatly appreciate it. The sip and sample that you have, can you kind of give the format that you've been following? Because I know I personally have gone very extravagant, you know, with a lot of information, and then I went on the other side, more social, come for the wine. Where do you find the happy medium?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And so we're right in the middle of that. We don't do extravagant and we don't do super simple. So when it's somebody new volunteering to host, I bring everything for them to show them how to do it so that it's not intimidating for them. So, which is why I think we have so many people volunteer. So the first time I'll say, okay, I'll do everything. I'll bring the hydrate and I'll bring, you know, you will bring that. I get people to do a different appy. So we don't do too many. We do maybe 3, 4, 5 appies at the most, like protein ball. We'll have some bars, some whey thins cut up. And then we don't ever do shakes at the sip and samples. We never do shakes because we want to show other ways to have fun. So we'll do guacamole with the greens and a sweet potato chip for a dip, or the whey thins as a dip, or you know, peanut butter muffins we did last time, and we did pumpkin protein balls, and we made pumpkin isogenics coffee, the lattes, and then we always have an alcoholic drink as an option. So we always have like a big thing of hydrate, but then we'll have, like this time we did it with gin. The last time we did mojitos. The time before that we did it with some Malibu and the pina colada, I think, when that came out. So just to show people that it's not shakes. We don't do shakes at all. It's all about fun appies and showing that you can drink, you can have a skinny drink. And so we focus on that. We have, we do 6:30 to 8 is our time. It's an hour and a half. And we are very quite strict on the time. We don't usually go later because people are busy, right? So if you do a short time, I find people are more willing to come by, and you sort of have the information out. People will ask questions. If not, we're talking about, you know, people ask you what's in the protein balls, what's this, what's that. And then at 7:30, so an hour in, we always give the opportunity. So we say, and when we do the Facebook group events, we say it's a little bit about isogenics, but a lot about community, appies, having some drinks and having some fun. And so 3/4 of the time is about that. And then the last half hour, we'll say, okay, everybody, you know, thanks for coming. You know, you can go on your way. We're going to do a quick opportunity to show you how you can eat for free. So if you want to stick around, great. And if you don't, that's okay. We make it very nonchalant. We've never had somebody leave saying that. We've always had every single person stay. And then we show them, you share, they share. We go from, you know, if they bring in 2 people and they bring in 2 people, we only show to manager level, and that's it. That's where we stop. So it isn't too much information.
So Kristine, when they come to your event, do they not already know that it's about isogenics? Because you're like, we're going to do, like, I would think they would already know that they're going to see an opportunity, but you're asking.
Yeah, and we talk about it, like, so we build up to it in the Facebook event. So the 7 to 10 days before, you know, we talk about isogenics. We talk about, you know, what does a shake day look like? It's not a diet. You know, you do those posts to set the expectation to what you want your event to be. So that's really key. So people aren't coming thinking, oh, I'm just going to have wine. Yes, there's going to be some isogenics information in there, but we don't want people to think that they're going to have to sit down in a living room and watch videos, because that happens.
We do that. Can you tell us what you do in that first hour? Because we definitely have people come in, we show them a video, we share some stories, and then we go to our sampling. We used to do PowerPoints. What do you do in that first hour? I presume you share some stories?
Yeah, and so, and different things have worked for different people. This is what works for us. So we build up to, so that's what it's key. If you're going to do presentations and stuff, awesome, you know, put it into your Facebook event that we're going to be showing this, so that people know, we find they know what you're setting that expectation, right? In the first hour, we mingle. We don't, you know, we like, oh, did you try the hydrate? Did you want to have a shot of the alcohol in it? And people just socialize. A lot of the times we have 2 or 3 people who have completed a 30-day come and they share their stories, but it's really organic. It's not, they're not standing up in front of people doing it, because a lot of people aren't comfortable with that yet because they've just started using products. So it's just happening in little conversations around the room. Very, very casual.
And that's the new model of the sip and sample, rather than showing the video and going through the key products, which is typically what I've been doing. But that's interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Well, I find Kristine. Go ahead.
You can do that. Like my last sip and sample, I had one girl who was like, okay, tell me about the pack and tell me about this and tell me about the ingredients. And so I have the information there when someone does ask, right? So all the information is there, and then I'll send them videos right when we're talking. I'll say, okay, you seem really interested. You know, I'm going to send you some information, and I do it right there on the spot. So when you get home, you can watch this information and then you follow up, right? So we have it all there, but we don't, you know, yeah, it's a little bit different. Go ahead, Tina, sorry.
So I find it interesting that your model is really mixing and mingling, sharing stories, sharing the samples, but then at the end where everyone's just kind of relaxed, and now you bring them together to more of a presentation style, just to talk about the you share, they share, and that's what, maybe 15 minutes, a half hour?
Half an hour tops, yeah. And it depends on how interactive people are too. So we usually bring, like, we'll have a box of weigh-ins and some bars or stuff. And so 2 of us will usually we have a little whiteboard and we draw, okay, here's you in the top. Here's if you bring one person in, and we always use the weight loss value pack. I always lead my team with that. So we do that as the example on the whiteboard. And then I'll say, okay, so what do you earn for becoming a consultant? You know, and someone will say $50, and then one of the girls will throw them a free pack of weigh-ins and a bar or something, you know, just to keep them engaged too, right? So, and we only go to the manager level. So it takes half an hour. We share our income for the people that are there. We share, and then we go around and we share, and we say, this is what, you know, I earned this week, and this is what Candy earned this week. You know, and people are always kind of blown away by that. So yeah, very simple. We keep it very, very simple.
So I would imagine, Kristine, that it doesn't sound like the focus really is on enrollments that day, that night, but it's really just in the follow-up. Is that what I'm understanding?
We usually have 2 to 3 enrollments that night, and then we have some with the follow-ups. Yes, so it works out both ways. On average, it's 2 to 3 a night. So those that are interested after the presentation, that's when by that time they're ready to do the enrollment, and we enroll them right there on the spot. And then the follow-ups, of course, you know, we pick someone to host the next one, and usually those are the people that end up really bringing more people, and those are people that have ended up as my consultants now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I love it. I know in the East Coast, they did this thing called Cocktails and Conversations, where it's kind of around that theme, you know. Love it. And I guess there's a low barrier to coming, because if you make it fun, if someone can have a mojito, or they can just chill and, you know, they don't have to sit through a PowerPoint, it's probably really good energy.
Yeah, and because people are coming usually from work, right? So people are usually on their way home from work, or they've dropped the kids off, or so, like, they just want to chill. So that's why we decided to go that route. And yeah, for the ones that end up wanting to get more serious, you can kind of sidebar with them, you know? So there is that, and there usually is 1 or 2 that do.
Awesome. Oh, Sheila Marie, did you have a question? Oh, there you go. Go ahead, yeah.
Hi, Kristine. Thanks for all that great information. I did have a question, and I apologize if I missed it earlier when you said it. I actually have a newer customer that I enrolled within the last month, and we were talking about doing a sip and sample together. This is the first one that I'm going to be doing because I've been doing isogenics for almost a year now, but I've just in the last couple months been getting serious about the business side. So I'm curious as to what you're using to get your interest out in the beginning. We were talking about maybe like something that you had said, like set up a group, a private group within Facebook, and then inviting friends that we knew. But how do you get that interest out without sounding salesy, like that you want to sell them something?
Yeah, totally.
How are you inviting people to a sip and sample?
So because I know we do it every third Thursday of the month, I always tell people about it. So, you know, I was down in Tim Hortons the other day, and this girl that's always in there as a regular, for example, who always knows my steep tea, you know, I said, hey, what are you doing next Thursday? I'm doing a sip and sample. It's really fun. It's a little bit about isogenics, but a lot about socializing and just chilling and you know, having some appies and having fun after work. Why don't you stop by? That's it. That's exactly what I say. Most people say yes, and I say, awesome, I'm going to invite you into the group. So, and then I have my ongoing prospects.
Did you say group or event? You put them in a group.
Event. Yes, event. And then I always have ongoing prospects that I'm talking to. And so I always send out, hey, what are you doing this month? Do you want to come and join? We had a pumpkin spice, you know, and I'll post a little picture of the last one, you know, about giving prizes away. And I say, we've got this one coming up. Do you want to join? So I always send out to my fence setters. And, you know, sometimes they'll make it and sometimes they don't. You know, I'll get one or two from there. But I talk about it, you know, so same as, you know, you're telling your ISA story wherever you go. I invite people. So the girl from Tim Hortons came. She had a great time and she enrolled. I never knew her before that at all, you know, so it's just, you know, sharing your story, and then I tack on, oh, hey, you should come. You just show up. It's super chilled. You know, there'll be drinks and appies. Stop by, stay a half an hour, stay an hour, up to you. So I just make it really relaxed.
Okay. What, another quick question. What about doing, like a Facebook Live within, like creating a group and doing a Facebook Live and just to generate interest there, saying, okay, this is what I've been doing, you know, this is what works for me, or you know, would anybody be interested in getting together to learn more about it? And then that way I can kind of gauge, you know, who would want to be interested in coming, you know.
And I post it, and I also post it in my women's groups that I'm in. There's two Victoria Facebook women's groups that I'm in. I always post it in there. So I post it 7 days up. Then I post it, you know, 3 or 4 days before, and then I always post it again the day before, because, you know, it takes people 2 or 3 times before they remember things, right? So I try to be ahead of the game. So a week before, I'm posting, reposting, and then, hey guys, don't forget, tomorrow's the big day. Love to see you there. We still have space. Come on by. You know, so I'm posting it in my groups, and I post it on my page. I haven't done a live, which is not a bad idea. So thanks for the idea. I might do that, but yeah, live would be great on your own page, right?
Right. Yeah, or just creating like a group of just and inviting friends, and then doing a live within that group.
Yeah, you could, certainly. You could. Yeah, absolutely, you could.
And what do you call your events?
So the one that we just did was Fit into Fall. So we theme it as well. So we try to have, in case we have people that come from one to another, so we don't have the same things or the same appies. We're just coming up with a name with this one yet. We haven't come up for our October name yet. So we're just putting that together this week. Our last one was,
well, you could do Little Black Dress, since that's your new group class.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so we usually tie it into whatever our regular events are going on, if not towards a theme or Thanksgiving or, you know, Christmas or whatever, right? You know, it's pretty easy to come up with names.
Love it. Well, that's awesome. Well, we were supposed to be half an hour. Thank you for giving us a full hour of your time. That is quite generous of you.
No problem. I hope it helps. Please feel free to reach out if you have questions. If anybody's ever in Victoria and you want to come down on the third Thursday, or you're on Nanaimo or wherever, and you want to come down, come on down. I can show you what we do. It's, it's not hard, but I'd be happy to show if it works for you. Great. Awesome.
Love it. Well, that's good. Let's get a couple thank yous. Who wants to jump out and say thank you or something that they took away, and then we'll head off. What'd you guys get from this? I got so much. I'm like tons of notes right here. Woo!
Yeah, lots of ideas for sip and samples. That's great.
Yeah, we'll be talking, Marla.
Yeah, you betcha.
Good, and I would love to hear. I have a bi-weekly call with Erin. So, Erin, I would love to hear what your groups come up with and what's been successful for them too.
Yeah, I love it. So, Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is just awesome. I love the ideas. And you said you guys had scripts, right, that you got from Kristine that she used, so we can have like a template.
Cora's did a 14-day detox, and she showed me some of the content that she has from those posts to share, so we can help you guys design. And we're gonna coordinate. So our group cleanse, the badass rebels, no, ageless rebels. I think I like badass better, but that's okay. Ageless Rebels will be planning 2 weeks of a pre-launch, launching on October 15th for 1 month, a 30-day program.
Awesome. Since I'm kind of helping with that, Kristine, if you ever have one, I'd love to, if you could just add me to one of your events and I could just kind of watch what you guys are doing too, then we can duplicate there, if that's something you're open to.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. That's what I did with Cora and her team. And they kind of just watched through one of my 11 days, and now they're doing it and they're having fantastic success in Nanaimo with it. So just send me a friend request afterwards and I'll be happy to add you in. No problem.
All right. Awesome. I got to head out to get Brady from school, but I'll do that, Kristine, and bye everyone.
Thank you. Yeah. We have lots here, Kristine, from the East Coast. Michelle's from Maine, just so you know. We've got people from all over the North America.
Awesome. Great.
Well, thank you. Wendy, you want to say anything before we over and out?
I really appreciate your time. I think it's awesome, all the details you gave, and such great ideas, and your story is amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope it helps with you guys.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
For sure. Okay, we'll talk soon, everyone. Thanks for being on
everybody. Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.